This is the Logitech Alto keys K98M. It has smooth linear switches, this clear, interesting two-tone color design, and a gasket mounting system. But I had to import this from China to show you guys. Now let's dive in and figure out if Logitech should bring this to the US market. Hi, I'm Blex, and I'm under no obligation to Logitech. As I mentioned, I've imported this keyboard myself from China. I do, however, have some affiliate links down below if you'd like to support the channel, as well as a link to the importer I used on eBay to get this specific keyboard. Now, my story with the Alto keys starts this past summer when I was opening the Logitech Options software and noticed this specific keyboard being featured in the patch notes for the software. I was intrigued by the design of the keyboard and tried to find this keyboard for purchase, only to realize it was only available in China. I thought after some time they would bring it to the US market, but here we are almost 6 or 7 months later, and that keyboard is still not available, so I took it on myself to import this from China to showcase it to you guys. This keyboard really has everything we've been clamoring for from Logitech in the US market. It's got this interesting, creative, fun design that you would be happy to share and showcase on your desk. It has hot swappable switches, a gasket mounting system, as well as all of the standard features you'd expect from Logitech, which includes multi-device swapping, Bluetooth, Logi Bolt support, as well as a socket slot for the receiver itself in the chassis, which, as you guys might know, I absolutely adore. Chef's kiss to that. This model seems to have what I'm calling silver switches. They're very clearly linear and they're marketed as having very light actuation force, but I could not find official documentation on the exact switches they're using. I can attest they feel extremely smooth, are feather light, and make a very pleasant sound when typing. On the note of the switches, the keycaps themselves are made of PBT plastic and are double shot, so the backlighting shines through. These are some of my favorite keycaps I've ever used. They feel sturdy, strong, but have a nice grip and concave feel to them. They are a bit skinny for my fingers and I have relatively small hands, but it's not something that was an issue, as after a few sessions I got used to the size.
That's what she said.
As for the actual shine through effect, they only have a white backlighting option and it has 7 levels of intensity, which is fine by me as I'm not in need of RGB lights or any special lighting effects. All of this can be controlled through their Logitech Options software, as I indicated before. It has full support, and even this Chinese model worked out of the box on my US desktop in the US without issue, and I was able to reprogram all of the top buttons as you normally would with most Logitech keyboards. Overall, this has an extremely sturdy build to it. It's got quite a lot of heft and is very tall, and I would definitely recommend a wrist rest with it. It does have the option to kick up some legs into a single elevated setting, but I find this keyboard to be quite tall as is, and pairing it with a wrist rest is a must for me. Now let's jump into a sound test. I want to showcase the switch sound as it's very unique. As you'll notice, the sound is different than most keyboards. It has this sort of pingy high note to it. It's hard to describe, but it's very pleasant and very gratifying when you're typing. It's not a Thok style keyboard from something like a low-free, but it has a high pitch but deeper sound to it. Quite hard to describe, but fantastic when you're actually using this keyboard. Now, who is this keyboard for? Well, on their website, you'll notice they market it towards coders, people who are creatives, people who are in the premium keyboard market. It's okay to just have a keyboard that's meant for people who want to spend a few extra dollars and get something unique and get something customizable. That's exactly what this keyboard offers with its hot swappable switches and its definite unique design. It's a very pretty keyboard and something even my wife commented on how nice it looks. If brought to the US market, they could easily put this alongside the MX Keys or MX Mechanical lineup and pose it as just that, a customizable premium keyboard for creatives, coders, or people who work extensively at their desk and they want something durable, strong, and reliable to be able to type on all day. Now, who is this keyboard not for? It's not going to be for gamers at the moment. I did some testing and I believe the polling rate is only around 125 Hertz. I wasn't able to find any official documentation on this, so that's all I have to go on so far. If they were to increase the polling rate to about 1000 Hertz, I think it would be perfectly adequate for gaming, and this could be a do-it-all keyboard. This is also not going to be a hit for anyone traveling to an office. It's very heavy and a bit too loud for the office setting in my opinion. Now, one of the reasons Logitech maybe didn't bring this keyboard to market is competitors. But after my research, I didn't find too many that were exactly in this space. Newfie has a new Kick 75 that is yet to come out that seems to be a direct competitor to this, with its gasket mounting and similar clear body design. At an $89 price tag with its quality still yet unknown, it's hard to put this up against this keyboard. I noticed Red Dragon also offers a few options in this space, around $50, but I don't have much experience with those keyboards. The main competitor I see is the Keychron Q5 Max, but that's about $220 and doesn't look quite as creative and fun as this keyboard, and of course doesn't have that Logitech software that I so often rave about. I did, for context, purchase this keyboard for about $135 US shipped via eBay. That is a very good price in my opinion for a keyboard of this quality. Now let's get into if they should bring this to the US market. I think they absolutely should be bringing this to the US market. It has a clear space for them to compete with. It's unique, it's fun. It helps build their brand into a space that they're not already in. People don't think of Logitech as this customizable keyboard company. They think of a rigid, business-focused keyboard company. This is exactly what breaks them out of that mold. I think they could easily price this somewhere alongside the MX Mechanical at around $175 and maybe add some additional color options. I'd personally prefer a Celtic green color and pair it with additional wrist rests and desk mat and make it a full suite of products that they could sell, and people would easily dive into this type of product. I've noticed on their Chinese website as well, they do offer it in a 75% layout, which is exactly what I would like to purchase if I were to use this full time. And as I mentioned before, this already works with the Logitech software, so there's no additional work for them on the coding front. Now with all of that being said, let's get into the tier list. Welcome everyone to your favorite part of the video. This is Blex's tier list for keyboards for 2025. We're of course going to be starting out with gaming in the Logitech Alto keys. Again, this is a Chinese exclusive keyboard, but I'll be doing my best to weight that into the scoring. For gaming, it's going to get a B tier for me. It is more enjoyable to use than the Logitech MX Mechanical. Again, though, the polling rate will hold this back, and there's a lot of other options for a better price that are more dedicated towards gaming, so it'll never get up into that A or S tier in my opinion. For solo productivity, this is where it shines. It's best for at-home use, it's best for your personal home office, and I would comfortably put this in the A tier. Based on the $135 I spent to get this shipped to me, that's a better price than the MX Mechanical, which is already a keyboard I like and think is great for productivity. And this might be a better option as it's just a lot more fun to use than the MX Mechanical. Now for office travel and productivity, this is going to get a D tier for me. It's just far too heavy of a keyboard to travel. It is sturdy in its build and construction, so it could travel, but it's just not something I'd recommend taking into an office or taking back and forth anywhere. Therefore, it gets a D tier. Thank you guys for watching. Please stay tuned for more content, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. Peace.